exploring the thoughtful journey of alcohol prohibition in early Islamic teachings.
Don't come near the prayer while you are intoxicated. So now what that means is that remember, the life of the people at the time was what? It was that in the morning when the sun rose, you had to go out and work in the field. In order to go out and work in the field, you could not be drinking, right? So if you could not drink during the day, when would you drink? After work, which is basically when the sun goes down. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, don't come near prayer while you are drinking, while you're under influence. So when the sun goes down, that's Maghrib prayer. So they pray Maghrib prayer, but in an hour or so is going to be Isha prayer. So they cannot pray Isha if they drink. So they say, okay, we have to wait until Isha is done. By the time they are done with the Isha, they're so tired and sleepy that they just fall asleep. So basically, the opportunity of drinking became decreased, such that even though it's not haram yet, they're just not doing it because they don't have the time to do it. And that's actually one of the approaches of dealing with addiction, which is take away the opportunity to engage in that act. Okay, so they say that one of the things that they do when people go to rehab is that they say, okay, after a few weeks of treatment with drugs and medication and therapy and whatnot, they say that you need to go and get a job, and not just get one job, get 2 jobs. Keep yourself so busy that by the time, of course, you can't drink at work, you can't go to work while drinking. Then when you come home, you should come home so tired that you don't need alcohol. You just hit the bed and you go to sleep. You wake up in the morning, it's time to go to work again. That's actually one of the ways. So then the habit of the Muslims broke. Then the third ayah came down after some time, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that these things, O you who believe, indeed intoxicants, gambling, stone altars, and divining arrows are but defilement from the work of shaitan. Ridz shaitan. So avoid them, meaning cut them out, that you may be successful. Shaitan only wants to cause between you animosity and hatred through intoxicants and gambling, and to avert you from the remembrance of Allah and from prayer. So will you not then desist? And this basically was the time when the Sahaba, subhanAllah, the wisdom of Allah is at first. So there's a psychological trick, or you could say technique, that if someone believes that something is possible, it is very likely to get them to believe that it is true. Okay, so if I tell you, is it possible that the sky is not actually blue, the sky is actually green? If you say, no, it's not even possible. I said, look, I'm not asking you to believe that it is green. I'm just asking you that, is it possible that maybe our eyes have some sort of, distortion effect going on? And if we were able to get a little bit higher up and look up, it would actually be green. You say, well, yeah, it's possible. Once you get somebody to the point of, yes, it's possible, then it's very easy to get them to jump over to say, yes, it is actually true. Okay? So if somebody is in denial of something, don't ask them to believe what you're saying is right. Say, just tell me honestly, do you think it could be possible that there could be another way to explain this? If they open up to that, then it's easier to get them down. Exactly, right? They say, yeah, it's possible, right? So, yeah. So in the first ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that, look, think about alcohol. There is some good in it, but the evil of it is greater. I'm not telling you it's haram. I'm not telling you have to stop it. So you don't have to fight back against it. Okay? So it takes some time for people to realize, yes, it is true. Yeah, we have seen it. The next thing is, well, let's just not do it during the daytime until, as long as there's a salah coming up, we can't do any alcohol. So you break the habit of regularly doing it. Now the opportunity has gone. Now after some time, this comes, which is cut it out. So they just cut it out. And the Sahaba said that when this ayah came down, the Sahaba poured alcohol into the streets. They brought the containers of the alcohol and they smashed them. And the streets of Medina flowed with alcohol that day. Now, this ayah, by the way, or this hadith, is one of the proofs used by scholars who say that alcohol is not physically najis. If it gets on your clothes, it is not najis. And they use this as evidence. They say that if this was a najis substance, they would not have poured it into the streets, such that the streets of Medina are flowing with alcohol. Nobody would do that. You would not imagine the Sahaba to go and take najasa and throw it into the path of the people if they knew this was a impure substance.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
I have someone in college. She's Muslim. Her friend drinks and they had exams, so the downer there.
Yeah.
So, but they were about to kill themselves.
Yeah.
So this lady, this Muslim girl, went with her friend. She sat with her and to be her sober sister.
Yes.
So she stopped her from exceeding the drink.
Yeah.
So this Muslim, she is allowed then to remove the bottle and the cup from her friend, right?
Yes,
And move away.
absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
It's no problem.
Are you asking that question that she's allowed to remove the bottle from her because of the concern that it's najis?